I was born and raised in Nigeria, so I've always known about the potential, and I always stay plugged in. I'm still plugged in about the things going on in Africa, in Nigeria, versus even more so what's going on here in the US where I live, just because I feel I've always been connected, invested, family's still there. And you know, you want to do better. You always want to add value, right? And where's the best place that you can add the most value? And I found it to be back home in Nigeria. So whether it's investing in resources to the country or just investing in people in general, I always find value in those areas. And trust me, some of the most talented people in the world are in Africa today. Not that they're traveling, they're from Africa. They are in the country. The most talented, untapped potential are still there. And every single day, every conversation or things that I do, I try to see how we can find those and either offer them opportunities or get to work with them or just even get insight on what's going on back home. You know, and how can you invest as a young person? Because sometimes people think you have to have like millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, millions of naira in your account to do that, but you can start little.
You're thinking big. You're thinking big. Like, I have all these big dreams and I want to achieve them. And the place to do that is back home. But you don't always get to have the big without the little. So how does one begin?
I'll give you the simplest example. You know, we're both passionate about fashion, how we look, right? The outfit that I'm wearing is made in Nigeria. It's made by a friend, right? And just choosing to work with local fashion designers, choosing to advertise their work on social media and bring in more business, choosing to start just a fashion business without technically being the talent, that is investing in the resources of Africa, right? Like, our friend got married, all our dresses were made in Nigeria. You know, all the groomsmen's clothes were made in Nigeria. Those are untapped resources that we had that, you know, typical people would just buy here. I mean, not saying that and
it'd be more expensive.
It's so much more expensive, but we know that we can get the same value, if not better, in Africa, in Nigeria. Like, you're able to
reach material.
And when you invest, and that is just like the example of investing in people, because these are talents that have been untapped, that their work either hasn't been abroad, international stage, right? This is an opportunity to get their work out there. And from that, we had more referrals, more recommendations. They're like, hey, I have my wedding, I have this program. And also just having the idea of like, hey, not just that I want to start a fashion line, I want to make fashion accessible.
Accessible for everyone.
Exactly, accessible for everyone. People don't need to feel like you have to be rich to wear custom clothes. When I go into work in corporate America and I wear some of my pieces, they're like, oh my gosh, where did you get it from? And I'm like, oh, my friends made them for me, you know? And so that is one way that you're
giving them exposure.
Exactly. That is one way of investing in the textile industry. Like, you're using African prints, like you're purchasing it, either selling it at a markup price, right? Those are resources going back.
And you're really adding value at the greatest length.
Exactly.
Because not only are you investing in that one person and like giving them access, you're also giving all these other people
the
manufacturers, everybody.
Everyone gets a piece of the cake. And I feel like that's a great way, in your own small way, that you can start to invest. And also, like, it's not just me, right? If I make a piece, I'm like, hey, make me 3. I'll sell it to my friends here because I'm sure they'll be interested in it. Now, that's like food you're putting on someone's table. That's like someone's business that you're able to run because you're that person that's trying to expand it more on a global scale, right?
And to add to that, I think something that's important to touch on right there is the fact that, like, now, not only are you adding table to this person's food on this person's table, but you've helped somebody, a startup, right? You've helped a startup business like get to a length that they wouldn't have been able to.
Exactly.
But also you have to think about it like my money, that the same amount of money that I could have used here in the States in a well-developed business, that business is not going to appreciate what you're doing for them as much as this other business. And so I think it's important for us to look at things like that. It may look like it's small to you, but to that person,
Right.
It's everything.
I want to work with local talent that I know that would increase or add value to their standard of living, right? If they're getting customers from the United States, from the United Kingdom, from Germany, from Canada, choosing to use their work, like either getting them to make their outfits or clothes or just expanding their business, now you're not just opening doors for that specific person, but you're starting to teach them how to think on a higher level. How can I scale my business to not just the local market, but international market? Because now they're thinking about logistics. Now they're thinking about taxes and tariffs on shipping and, you know, on those kind of cargo, right? So those are ways that, you know, even if that there are ways that you can find profit as an individual investing in little things like that.
Yeah.
That's a bigger value that you're just adding to your community back home. I went out and networked with people, built relationships outside of my comfort zone, and created those connections and network to be able to grow as an individual. So yeah, so you have those issues like, who do I even work with, right? It's as simple as just connecting with people on LinkedIn, on social media. Hey, I see you're Nigerian, you go back home often. What do you do? I'm thinking about doing this. Maybe I might not be the resource directly, but I may know someone. Like a lot of the people I work with today, they came from referrals, like direct referrals, either from friends or, you know, or just my network in general. The other thing is logistics issues, right? It's in Africa. It's thousands of miles away, right? And we live in a world of Amazon Prime, same day shipping. I order it online, I see it, I get it today. And so now you have those issues where either, obviously, in a lot of countries in Africa are developed. They have fine, comfortable shipping process. But it may not reach to the level or scale that you need to build an international business or, pipeline. And so those are the same thing. You build the network. How are these big corporations doing it? Because there are people in the middle of this pipeline that are making it work, right? And I mean, I speak from it because I have a background in supply chain and global logistics. I studied it.
That's what you studied.
So I know exactly what to do. I know how to start. But for people who don't know how to start, like you just research, you just get the information. Yeah, you don't trust people on the internet, but it's good to build relationship or network with people who know how to and help guide you to do it. But there is always a way. You just have to want to do it, you know?